All right, well, once again, I'm having a hell of a time with this webcam still being out of sync. But I had a few things that I really wanted to talk about. Maybe they're not important. Maybe the gods are trying to tell me something, eh? Uh, the audio was still out of sync. So I'm going to try it a second time. I think any other week where it just doesn't happen, I just won't post. But I'm going to try it again. This time I have a backup camera. But I don't like using it because I can't tell what it's going to look like in the viewfinder. So I tried to set it up as best I could. I don't really know how well the sound quality is, but here goes. Let me check that camera real quick. My backup camera. Well, it seems to be operating normally. My little tiny, it's a still camera, but it's got movie mode. And the movie mode's not too bad. I use that. I took that with me to Ocean Beach. And a lot of the on-the-road videos, I don't use my Sony cam anymore, because it uses tapes and it's become unreliable. All right, well, time to don the fez. Greetings, fellow citizens. This is Citizen Kong, and welcome to another Fez Night. Tonight's Fez Night should be called the Age of Fez. Of course, I'm posting this video on 9/11. Yes, and we know I'm not posting it on it. I'm confused. I'm recording this Fez Night on 9/11. Likely I'll post it on 9/11. But, so I thought I would just have to acknowledge that. You know, when it happened, I was waiting for Bush to at least rise to the occasion and stir the country with words. You know, some great, powerful rhetoric. I never got it from him, you know. He pointed out to me, I mean, right away. I mean, he went into hiding. You know, the whole infamous thing where he was reading the books to those school children or whatever, and, you know, he just had this dumbfounded look on his face. I don't really believe there's any major conspiracy as far as the government hatching it all like a plan or anything. I just believe that it was just incompetence. The Bush administration, it was incompetence. They took their eye off the ball. They were focused too much on Iraq. They ignored intel that the Clinton administration tried to pass on to them. There was that document that crossed Condoleezza's desk about using a passenger jet as a missile or a bomb, and that was ignored. The whole idea that they could never see this coming, that's bullshit. So I just put it up to incompetence, and it shows that it was a very incompetent administration. Not only just that, but their ideals about, you know, trashing, you know, the environment and, you know, blah 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 on down the line. And that's in the age when I started blogging, because Bush was in office, and I just got so wound up. I was just so angry. And then 9/11 happened. It was like, oh, geez. And it happened on his watch. And then Osama bin Laden was never captured under his watch until Obama. Is that another conspiracy? I don't think so. But I'm sure all of you remember what you were doing. I was getting ready for work. I saw these, I had dial-up, and I was still excited about having a computer, and I had dial-up, and I saw these very grainy, low-resolution images in real time on my computer, and I just didn't know what to make of it at first, and it just seemed like so, this can't be happening, was the feeling. And the notion that, that we somehow, the United States on the other side of the globe, Europeans don't feel this way, I don't think the way Americans do, is that we are untouchable. You know, wars happened other places, not here. And then after 9/11, that feeling of security pretty much is gone. That's my take on 9/11. I mean, my feeling at the time was the barbarians are at the gates. I'd taken classes where instructors had talked about, and this is before 9/11 of course, but it talked about the parallels between the fall of the Roman Empire and the fall of, and where we are right now in the United States. And one of the things that was interesting before Rome fell was that they had started spreading themselves out. They stopped making things as much, and started using cheap imports. So their swords were made somewhere else. Sandals were made somewhere else. They were importing a lot of food and goods and relying on cheap labor from people that weren't Romans. You see the parallel? And also they were pissing off a lot of people too by spreading their empire. Well, as some of you may have noticed, I posted a video where I was in Ocean Beach. I met with Zach. I hope it's okay to say that name. Z Moulton. Such a great visit. It was such a pleasure to meet Z. I was very impressed with what an intelligent and articulate person and how driven and focused he is. And, you know, and it was sad. I'm going to turn my phone off in case it rings. It was a big letdown in a way, and I'm sure, look, I was the consolation prize. Z came to San Diego to meet Timmy, Cyber 9 Rounder. Made a special, he diverted from his journey, from the main part of his journey, to make the special trip from Los Angeles down to San Diego, and Cyber 9 refused to meet him. I offered to take him to his house, but, you know, of course Z was too well-mannered, like yours truly, to show up at his door unannounced. Of course, Tim has no qualms about doing that. Basically, Timmy's uncivilized. You know, somebody makes the effort to visit your town, and you know he's coming, and Timmy refused to show up. What were you afraid of? You know, you could have met Z on your own, just you and him. I didn't have to be there. Anyway, Z and I had a wonderful time. It was really, really a pleasure to meet him, to meet you. And I would think, the way I feel, and I think the feelings mutually, he's pretty much said the same thing, that if we lived in close proximity to each other, that we would definitely hang out. We would definitely hang out. I think we could be friends. I feel that we are friends now. So my second experience of meeting a fellow YouTuber in the real was really positive. And I look forward to meeting other friends. When I get things together, I'm going to take a drive up to visit Barfly Brooks. I'll let you know I'm coming first. And see Nana in person. I would love to meet Stan and Monk in person. And Chicago isn't all that far. That still may happen someday. But anyway, yeah, it was such a pleasant visit, and you know, even though I didn't want to accept the offer, that he insisted. So we went out and had a meal on his tab, and that was good. We didn't have it in Ocean Beach. It's funny, I said to him, why Ocean Beach? I mean, you know, well, of course we know we went to Ocean Beach because of Timmy. Timmy, people do not pick Ocean Beach as a tourist destination. You know, Ocean Beach, if you can't afford to stay in Mission Beach, rent a condo or hotel, and, you know, stay in Mission Beach or La Jolla or Coronado. Am I leaving out any major San Diego beach? You know, the consolation prize, I'll use that phrase again, the second choice, the bottom of the list, is Ocean Beach and Imperial Beach. Probably Ocean Beach is further from the border, so you probably, Imperial Beach would be my old stomping grounds, it would be at the bottom of the list. Ocean Beach a close second. Man, we saw a couple. It's been a long time since I've been to OB in the night, man. OB at night. And we were being like approached by strange, weirdos there in OB. And then the small time took a drive through my neighborhood. You know, Zach said, "Oh, I thought you had a scooter." I do have a scooter, but I also have a car. And so I took Z to my neighborhood, and then we went over to Hillcrest, where all the good restaurants are, you know. And we went to an inexpensive Japanese place that I enjoy very much, and he seemed to enjoy himself too. So I appreciate buying me the meal, Z. And once again, it was such a pleasure to meet you. And I was so tired. I'd worked a full day, this time doing physical labor, mostly welding. You know, you're tired at the end of the day because, you know, you're focusing and you're trying to get things right. But I was actually doing physical labor in like 100-degree heat. I mean, it was hot down there. I mean, with the humidity, it was about 100 degrees. It was probably like 85, 90, but plus the humidity. And I was exhausted. And then I got a message on my voicemail saying that he was there in Ocean Beach and he was leaving the next day. In fact, he didn't plan on staying in a hotel there, motel. No, hotel, I guess it'd be hotel. He just came down for the day, you know, and let Cyber9 know he was coming, but Cyber9 didn't show up. You know? Goes to show he's just a mean old grouch, you know. He's not a nice person. I mean, actions speak louder than words. And so he decided to check into a hotel and stay a little bit longer, and that gave me an opportunity to meet him. And so I got cleaned up, headed over there. Thought I was going to be really late, but I think I was on time. And unlike Cyber9 Rounder, I was able to sneak up on him. I saw him standing there. Cyber9 Rounder, you can't sneak up on him. The guy's like paranoid. It's like eyes. It's like always darting. He's always on. I'd hate to live like that. You know, to be so like, you know, I don't know, untrusting or whatever, you know. And so he got a tattoo at Timmy's favorite tattoo shop while he was there. Guess that's it. There's so much more I could tell, but I won't. I don't know if any of you are aware, but on Lisa's sock channel, she calls Monk's Mole. She uploaded one of her animation videos featuring various characters in our circle, and of course there's an epic fight going on, flame war going on over there in the comments. I think it's about died out by now, but I got drawn in because Lisa accused me of flagging the video, which I did not. I had to write there. I said, I give you my word. I did not flag that video. I mean, not flag it, thumb it down. She accused me of thumbing it down. And granted, I wasn't flattered by this role they keep sticking me in as some sort of effeminate. Good satire is based on truth, and there's one thing about me. I've never been in the real accused of being effeminate. It's just that they try to pigeonhole me there. I'm a sensitive artist. But I've also worked in the blue collar world because I'm not soft like those office people you see. You know, I've got blisters, calluses on my hands, and I don't know why. I am not happy with that. You know, good satire is based on some sort of truth. Why not make fun of the fact that I have an overinflated view of myself at one moment, and then the other times I think I'm worthless. The mood swings, the I'm up, the I'm down, the ways that I try to be articulate. I love the way Monk portrays me as this sort of like I'm borderline. I don't know. I'd kind of say it's just sort of this like proper person that's just too nice, you know. And I like the fact that it's a little bit. I've been with some strange situations. I used to call them adventures, and pretty much it's the any port in a storm. I see an opportunity, and a lot of people would say, "Whoa, you hit that?" I said, "Heck yeah." And that's how, you know, the Kong surrogate, I'm not going to use Timmy's word, but anyway, the Kong puppet, you know, him and Shirley and her mother, you know, I think that's funny, you know. Yes, I have lowered my standards in the past, and that's based on truth. Satirize that. But anyway, she accused me of thumbing down the video. You can think of other things based on truths, you know. The things that I don't cuss very often in my videos. I'm a tea drinker. I'm an Anglophile. I'm drinking coffee at the moment. I got kicked out of the university. Yeah, that whole thing, and somebody's going on about I never graduated from high school. What a bunch of bullshit. I scored high on my SATs and went to a very prestigious university. I couldn't stay because basically I hadn't been diagnosed yet, and I was away from home, and I had a psychotic break. And it was what they used to call in the old days a nervous breakdown. I mean, I was out there. I had to leave, and it took me like a year to recover, or longer, to finally get my feet back on the ground. It's a long process. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But the idea that I didn't graduate high school is just nonsense. And I did go back to community college for a while, but to get accepted in the university that I was accepted at, very prestigious. And I did it on scholarships. About 70% of the money that I had for school was based on scholarships. The rest of it was student loans. And I lived in a dormitory, experienced campus life. Very interesting. And I did extremely well. I was even asked to be in the honors program. I interviewed for it. I think I kind of blew the interview, but that's okay. Being asked was nice. And I did great the first semester, but then I sort of had my problems the second semester. Anyways, it was a great experience for me. The first part, not the second part. So I was talking about that epic war over on that channel. And yes, no, I didn't thumb down the video. I certainly didn't, make fun of my drug use. Make fun of that. My inability to stay focused. No, yeah, the epic flame war that's going on over there. One thing, and Andy never comes up with the stuff on her own. She stole this from somebody else, and I saw him doing it. And what you do, instead of hitting the reply button, you see somebody write something you don't like, and instead of hitting the reply button, because if you hit the reply button and you type something in, I'll get it in my inbox, and you'll know to go to the video and reply back. And but Andy's found a very cowardly way to deal with that. She just types @CitizenCon, and then it looks to the person reading the thread is that she got me really good and I didn't have a comeback. Well, it's because I wasn't even aware that it's in there. It's a really sleazy thing to do. And it's not surprising because it's Andy. Andy was the one who first appeared on my radar because somebody posted a video exposing her from stealing some skateboarding video from Brazil, re-editing it and claiming it was her own. And then when somebody pointed this out, exposed her, what did she do? She DMCA'd these guys and claimed it as her own, tried to beat them to the punch. Not only was it plagiarizing, but then she's using YouTube and the DMCA laws to take their content from them and not allow them to fight back. I don't know how it all ended, but this was Andy the Ducks Quacks Back. It's documented. This actually happened. And yet she goes along trying to pretend like she's this young hip chick, and she's not. She made one vlog. She doesn't show her face. Hasn't shown her face since then. And when you see her, she's not at all like the image she tries to portray. She uses a young woman as her icon. And this particular one, she always keeps like part of the face covered and just shows the eyes. And Frank of the Mountain was teasing her about being a character from the Bazooka Joe comic book, comic little things you got in your bubble gum. I don't think she gets the reference. The guy that has a turtleneck that always covers his face, that's supposed to be Andy. So she's using this like underhanded trick. And so the only way I knew she was doing this is I would go back, and to give Pops his credit, he hits the reply button. He doesn't pull that shit. He lets me know when he replied to my comment, and I go back and reply to his, and we have a back and forth. And I saw Andy's doing these @Citizen Kong things, and I'm not getting them in my inbox. So I pretty much ignored them. But somehow she thinks that she's winning by doing that. But it's not winning. You're just being underhanded. And it totally fits your personality. And if I'm wrong, make a video and show your face and respond and post it as a reply. You're really a piece of work, Andy. I'd much rather fight with Pops. To his credit, I'd rather fight with Pops than you, because fighting with you is like dealing with somebody with part of their brain missing. You know, somebody that never quite learned the English language. Somebody that is so wrapped up in believing their own lies that you're just not in reality. And then you parrot back stuff that other people have said about me that's not true, you know. And you're just really a piece of work. I started watching a program called Breaking Bad. I know I'm a latecomer to this because I don't have cable, but they now have like quite a bit of the series on Netflix, so I can stream it and watch it. And I have to say it's a very good show. I'm getting a real kick out of it. But one YouTuber said it was the best show ever made. And I don't know whether you meant worldwide or you know, better than anything made in England or Great Britain. There's some pretty damn good shows that come out of Great Britain, no doubt about it. But and we can't enjoy the Italian ones and all that. I can't because I don't speak those languages. So you know, getting a show from Britain, you know, it crosses the pond fairly easily. You know, it's no Deadwood. Deadwood to me is the greatest American program ever produced. I know we have our classics like, you know, the Jackie Gleason Show and, you know, Lucille Ball and the Twilight Zone and, you know, and then later programs like the Bonanza and things that are uniquely American. We'd have to say those are great television shows. Some of them don't stand the test of time. Yeah, I have a secret, not a secret one. I'd have to say when I was a kid I liked the Partridge Family. And but now I go back and look at them and they're kind of, they don't stand the test of time, at least mine. Barfly Brooks was saying he was watching all those. Maybe I should revisit them. I don't know. But Breaking Bad, yeah, I'd recommend it. But it's certainly no Deadwood. Deadwood had such amazing, the language, the sound, the words. There's nobody like Al Swarrington. The character development was just so amazing. And the costumes, the sets, it had such a ring of authenticity. It was very, very, there's so many different ways you could look at the show. It was like I thought it was a very, very good example, a close look at how civilization takes a foothold. You know, first you just have these people that are like warlords scrambling for power, and then along comes civilization. And then comes the, you know, things like building codes and, you know, rules. And it's all part of civilization. But people like Tea Party people and libertarians are all like, we don't want that. We don't want regulations. But it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. Hell, I don't like getting tickets or having to follow regulations. I don't. But when we live together as a society, it's clearly important. Unless you want to go live by yourself in a cave somewhere. Homeschool your children. Isolate them from the rest of society. Yeah, well, then you can. This is America. You can do that. But don't try to ruin it for the rest of us. Just go away. I have to read this thing. You know, and this is deja vu because I already did this once before, you know. Like I said, I have my backup camera. I read this in the Los Angeles Times, and since the GOP is having their primaries, you know, about to have their primary, and you know, once again, there's this thing that they're embracing Ronald Reagan, or as El Brookman. See, El Brookman, I'm mentioning you. El Brookman said that if I don't mention him, the stock market goes down the next day, and the stock market's been having a terrible time, and so I'm mentioning your name, El Brookman. I'll mention your name every Fez night as long as the stock market goes up the next day. As soon as it goes down after mentioning your name, then all bets are off. You better hope it goes up. I've never had anybody clamor for attention. John's Wacky World's clamoring for attention. Oh yeah, I was accused of being a hypocrite. Oh, on Lisa's Sock channel, Monk's Mole. return to that real quick. At one point while I was fighting with Pops, he shows that he can't, somebody there can't handle it. I believe that's Lisa's channel. But I had Pops on the ropes, man. I was running circles around him. And somebody got so frustrated with me that they blocked me. And I went to do a response that says, "You are blocking this video." I have the screen cap to prove it. I was blocked. And then I went back over the Royal Order of the Fez and made a stink about how, how spineless, whoever running the channel is, blocking me. And I asked Pops directly, because I know Pops uses Lisa's sock channel sometimes. They take turns, because you can tell the language will change. To Lisa's credit, what she posts is way more intelligent than Pops. You can tell Pops is like foaming at the mouth. Foma. And Andy, the idiot she is, he's like claiming I stole the word from Urban Dictionary. Andy, go to the Urban Dictionary. You can find FOMA. It's about third, F-O-A-M-A. It's about third down. There's some other commercial products that are called FOMA, F-O-M-A or something like that. But go directly to the Urban Dictionary. If not, if you Google FOMA, F-O-A-M-A, you'll see Urban Dictionary about a couple entries down, about 3 or 4. And read the definition and go to the bottom of the page and look who posted it, accusing me of stealing it. You're so stupid. And then she posted it at Citizen Kong, so hopefully I won't see it, and she'll look like people will read the thread and think she's clever and go, "Ooh, she got him because he didn't respond." You're such a sleaze, and not in the good way. Hell, I like sleazy women, but you're not in the good way at all. So I said to Pops, I said, "Look, tell me, answer this question. It's a direct question, Did you block me?" And I said there'll be 3 responses. He'll either accept responsibility for blocking me, or he'll blame Lisa for blocking me, which maybe it was her. She'll blame Lisa. He'll blame Lisa. I pretty much know it wasn't her. Thirdly, he'll ignore the question completely. What did he do? What do you guess? He ignored the question completely. Would not answer direct question. Ask me a direct question and I'll answer it. But Pops won't. Because, and he thinks I'm the sleazy ankle biter, the slippery one. Pops projecting once again. But it's hard being slippery when you're as large as you are. You cover yourself in bacon fat. Then you'd be really, oh, God, that image. Oh, put that image out of my mind. Imagine that Pop slathered in bacon grease. Gross. But he imagines me and Monk and all kinds of things. He sits around there thinking of stuff, pictures it in his mind. He's really good with coming up with that stuff. Yeah, so I didn't thumb up the video because, like I said, I'm not happy. Like a politician, you can say, look, anything's fair game, okay? But the political cartoons that are written about you, you're going to be fond of some cartoons and just simply say, I don't like that one. I don't like what they're saying about me. That's that person's right. I have every right to say that. Anyway, did I mention about what good satire is? Well, apparently, satire is based on some truth. I already said that, didn't I? All right, so back to L. Brookman and Ronald Reagan. All right, I'll put my extra powerful readers on. So when the Republican presidential hopefuls gather to debate Wednesday night in Simi Valley, one thing seems certain: lavish tribute will be paid to Ronald Reagan. It's even here, like L. Brookman. Reagan has been elevated to a sainted figure within the GOP, and but let's point out, but the Reagan reverie will doubtless overlook much of the Reagan reality. As president, the conservative icon approved several tax increases to deal with a soaring budget deficit. He approved tax increases to deal with the budget deficit. I can't emphasize that anymore. And Obama, they won't allow him to do that, but they let Reagan do it. He raised the debt ceiling, repeatedly boosted the nation's debt limit, signed into a law a bill granting amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. Yeah, I say let those illegal immigrants stay. I'm thinking about the Irish. Yeah, everybody else can't stay. You know, down the road from here, there's an Irish pub where it's owned by Irish and staffed by Irish. And I happen to know that that there are Irish there that have overstayed their work visas, so technically they're illegal. Yeah, so it's not just Mexicans. Look, I've seen a lot of I've seen firsthand what a strong work ethic culturally Mexicans have. The whole thing about them being lazy is just wrong. And you know, the whole like criminal element. Oh, we got white criminal element. You know, it's all the same. You know, dangerous people that don't want to make a living. You know, that were ready to rob, cheat, or steal in order to do it to get by. Happens in all races, all cultures. Yeah. And before that, his California government, let's see, and despite his anti-Washington rhetoric, oversaw an increase in the size and spending of the federal government. You know, one of those things that he's credited for is bringing down the Soviet Union. And the main thing that he did is he made them go broke because he was spending pouring all kinds of money into the Star Wars program, which wasn't going to work. And had the Russians worried, so they were spending all kinds of money on stuff. So basically, we were able to outspend them till they were broke. You know, it wasn't through any great diplomacy or anything like that. It was basically using the Cold War against them. Lucky we didn't, and you know, we almost broke ourselves at the same time. Came close, but it was like a poker game or something, eh? Oh, good old Ronald Reagan. Hey, you know, it'd be better if some of these people would give Obama the same breaks they gave Ronald Reagan. Plus, Ronald Reagan was the Iran-Contra scandal. Instead of taking responsibility, he let Oliver North take the fall, and part of that deal was selling arms to Iran. It was a deal they made to Carter and the hostages being held there. If Reagan was elected, he cut a deal with them that you release the hostage and we'll do something for you. And part of that, what we'll do for you, is selling them weapons. Very, very wrong. Much worse than letting an intern give you a blowjob. Much, much worse. So, yeah, I'm disappointed with Obama, but I hope he gets reelected. You know, he gets blamed for the economy and stuff, but he's getting stonewalled. There's things that I believe that could help things, but the Republican Party believes it's better to destroy the country. No, what is it? They need to destroy the country in order to save it, which is just stupid. Stupid logic. They're convinced that helping the rich is going to make things better. Look at countries where the rich are helped and they're just mega rich. The rest of them are just super poor, hating life. You know? The rich are not generous by nature. Sure, there's a few generous rich people. You gotta force them to give, damn it. Yeah, I know, I'm a socialist. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, but definitely the idea of lowering taxes for the wealthy, for the corporations. At the time when the American worker was doing the best, where a guy could work hard for a living, didn't need a college degree, he could go work in a factory, manufacturing, the car industry or something like that, and he could live the American dream. He could afford to buy a home and raise a family, but that's not the case anymore because the corporations sold out the American worker. They started using cheap labor overseas. Hence, American decline. The idea that we would be a strong nation, no, the corporations, they have no patriotic sense of patriotism. It's money. That's all they're concerned with, is bottom line. And a lot of capitalists would say, well, you can't blame them. You know, that's what drives things. Yeah, that's what drives capitalism, is profit. But there's no compassion or sense of duty or loyalty except to the almighty dollar. And what does it say in Scripture? For the love of money is the root of all evil. It doesn't say money is the root of all evil. Good can be done with money, but it's when it becomes your God. That is evil. So we'll be in decline. And when the government gives itself to the corporations, to big business, that is fascism. And we are heading that way. There was a great documentary called The Corporation, where it shows how the rise of the corporation, and the Supreme Court bolstered this. The idea, corporations in the beginning weren't just allowed to do a lot of these things. They didn't have the same rights as an individual American. But slowly that happened, and they were sort of became like they have the rights of an individual, but you can't imprison them. If a corporation does something evil, before, if a corporation did something wrong, like let's say poisoned a bunch of people in India, like DuPont did, I believe it was DuPont, there was somebody that would be held responsible. They do this in China. They take the CEO and they imprison him or kill him. But the CEO of a corporation is protected because a corporation becomes like it's this entity under our laws. And it used to not be that way. And the Supreme Court took it even further. They have those rules about campaign financing. Like an individual person, I think, is allowed to give generously. I think an individual person. And the corporations were limited how much they could give towards a campaign. But they argued it was a free speech issue. And Scalia, I think, was one of the people behind this and gave it to them. It said, yeah, you have the same rights as an individual. A corporation has the same rights as the individual to free speech. Therefore, you are allowed to give as much money as you feel you want. And if I'm wrong about this on some finer points, please let me know. But that's how I understand it. And that's just wrong. Because you and I can be put in jail, but a corporation can't be put in jail. You and I have the right to free speech, but they allow a corporation. So they're getting all the benefits of the freedoms we have in this country, but none of the downside. And they're much able to not pay their fair share of taxes than you and I are able to, because they have all those corporate lawyers at their disposal. The loopholes, the offshore bank accounts, all that. And if people on the right can't see that, you know what there was a poll that showed, and people that get their information strictly from Fox News are the most ill-informed Americans of all. Yeah, something along those lines. Of course, it's some liberal think tank did the survey. Yeah. All right, everybody. All right, this was take 2. I really tried this time. So we'll see. If the webcam version doesn't work, I'll post the little digital camcorder version. And you might see a significant difference. Who knows? All right, everybody. Have a great week. This is Citizen Kong. Thank you for watching the Age of Fez. What did I write down there? Yeah, the Age of Fez. Is that right? Yeah. The Age of Fez. Yeah. Took me all morning to think of that one. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching the Age of Fez. Have a great week. Cheers.